got to play GroundBreakers. Now, this is a demo copy for a Kickstarter that's about to come out. Hopefully, Randy will be able to tell you a little bit more of that.
Well, actually, Robert will.
Robert.
Hi.
Hi. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell because board games are amazing and that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. And I love getting demo copies because it's so much fun to see what's coming out. So, Rob, what can you tell us about GroundBreakers?
Okay, so this is going on Kickstarter. October 10th is when they're supposed to go live with it. A little bit of a hand management game, I would call it. Randy will go a lot more detail here in a little bit. 2 to 5 players, plays in 60 minutes, and ages 10 and up. Designed by Simon Kruger, published by Simon's Playground. We didn't get all the information for all the details, so we don't know who the artist is, but just in the side art's great. But that's about all we got right now.
Okay, all right, so let's talk about quality components. It's really hard to do demo copies and quality components.
Yeah.
We typically don't. It looks like there's just going to be cards, so hopefully we'll see some good card quality in it.
The cards they're well made. They're good thickness now. They're just there's no really a linen finish.
Well,
on them.
he did publish on the announcement that he sent. It did say it would go on linen cards.
Yeah,
so
but these are all prototypes.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to.
Yeah,
I do
really
hope they
score
do
it.
a little bit more with
The thickness.
the back.
Oh.
Yeah.
The artwork for all the front cards, but this seems a little compared to all the other artwork. So hopefully, well, we'll see. We'll see. All right. So we're not going to give a score for quality components because we don't know what the final quality is going to be. But we're sure it's going to be awesome. But it is just a card game. All right. So then moving on to the actual theme. Why am I Greta?
Well, they're taking influential people throughout history. So they have Caesar, they have Martin Luther King Jr., Socrates.
I have Marie Antoinette.
No, it's not. It's Marie Curie, I believe.
Well,
not Marie Antoinette.
I like Antoinette.
She's still got a head.
But yeah, it's probably Marie Curie.
And I don't know
she's
who Greta is. She's
Greta.
a child, it looks like.
I like Greta Van Fleet.
So Greta, she was on TV and she said, how dare we do this, destroy our planet kind of thing. So she's a symbol for this, ecological movement
Oh, okay.
about save the planet. And she still speaks out about it today. So she's gotten a little bit older.
So you don't know Greta's last name?
It's not something I can easily pronounce and I don't want to for fear of mutilating it. Anyway.
So we'll just run with Greta.
So we'll run with Greta. No, but the card art is very realistic. For those that are involved in any type of actually paying attention to the news, you might recognize her. Some don't, some do. But yeah, so that's who she was. But I will say, compared to all the other ones, she doesn't really quite fit in. Because you have like the scientists, you have Martin Luther King, you have like Caesar, and you have Socrates, and then Greta doesn't really seem to fit in that
maybe
lineup.
because she's modern. Yeah. Whereas the rest is everybody else.
Well, Martin Luther King's pretty modern as well, comparatively, like the Middle Ages and Stone Age, which are the other categories.
Yeah, but
I mean, a man in Fury is relatively.
But Greta's alive.
The rest okay. Good point.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. But it is a little...
Yeah, and the Kickstarter, if you back it, there's supposed to be
there's supposed to be 5 more
of those.
These
okay, well, maybe they'll connect them a little bit more because she seems out of place. But anyway, so overall, theme-wise, I love the art on the cards. The portraits are actually really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I love the style that they kind of did it in.
I don't...
It's realistic, but the background's super fun.
But the art's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, no, I think the artwork's a lot of fun. I do love the color palette that it's doing. So theme-wise, it is not a heavy on the theme.
I mean, the theme's kind of layered on in the sense that this is basically a Rummy-style game.
Yeah.
It's broken out over different ages, so they wanted to represent that with art from different ages in the same category. So, the medicine, they have different medicine that was appropriate for the different ages in theory. So, it's linked in that way, but, it's light. It's very light.
It's very light. But the artwork really does something.
It really pops, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so
really good. Yeah.
Almost photorealistic.
So for theme-wise, I think I will give it a 7 because the art is so good. I really enjoyed all the pictures in it. I'm really sad that there's a lot of duplication, like your Media 3, all the Media 3 or something. I would like to see maybe in the Kickstarter doing different art.
Well, I think it makes sense in the sense that it's easier
because it's a set collection. It makes sense that.
Well, but you still have the 3. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it would be fun to see more art.
Well, yeah, I love the art. I wouldn't complain if there were more categories beyond medicine, media, and mobility.
Overall, what are your guys' score for theme?
I think 7's fair. I mean, I think the art is fantastic. There's not a whole lot to score for because it is just a card game.
Right.
But, I think the art is phenomenal. And
I agree.
So, yeah, I think 7's fair.
I think 7's fair.
All right, so let's move on to the rule book. Now, again, this is a demo copy.
Yeah.
Do you know if he's finished with the rule book?
Well, no, I know he's not, as a matter of fact. The rule book that's in the box that he sent me is not finished, and it did have typos in it, but he sent me an email saying he had a new rule book that he wanted to send me, but I haven't gotten it. So it's only...
And we wanted to get this together
because we wanted to make sure we got it out before his Kickstarter release. Yeah. It's a double fold page, basically, and so it's only 4 pages long. It's not that hard to pick up.
It really is.
And there's a little bit of, in this version, there was a few things that I think were left out. That's probably what he's catching and clarifying. But it's not bad, and there's a couple translation things that weren't bad.
And
horrible.
Cheat Sheet was decent.
Yeah, I mean, it's small font.
Yeah, but it's very simple game, but it does remind you what your actions are.
Yeah, well, I think...
So I thought that I actually found it useful. I looked at it.
Yeah, now I will say, I do think the font needs to get a little bit bigger. I'm okay with the pictures being the size, but the font needs to be bigger. And they've got plenty of space on this card
they
do that.
But and again, this is a prototype, so it's probably not the final version.
Right, so... if you're watching this,
but with what's on it, it's good.
Yeah, so I'm not going to rate it because this is definitely not the final version.
Absolutely, there is one question that we did have is if you're playing your final card, can someone play a draw 2 on you?
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We assume so because it was the current player, right? Yeah. They were still actively going, so we went with yes. So we did. I think that was the only really big question that we had. So we'll talk about that now. We're talking about gameplay, right? So it is a Rummy-esque game. The fact that you're trying to get rid of your hand. So you start out with how many cards?
10.
So you start out with 10 cards. I've got 6 here, 7.
And you start out in the Stone Age. So the Middle Age and Modern Age, you take the number of players you're playing with. This plays up to 5. And you multiply it by 2. And you stack that many cards on top of the Middle Age deck. And then, or this Middle Age card, and then this Modern Age card, you get another 10, or however many, 2 times the number of players, and then that becomes the top of your draw pile. And then whenever you get down to that card, whoever draws it will play it. You don't actually have to replace it. There's no, at least not in the rules, it didn't say anything about replacing it. So you basically get rid of one of your cards that way. But yeah, you're going to play that card down, and now any cards that have a level 2 on them can be played.
Right.
Yeah. So one thing to do note is that you can play single cards, right? So some of the single cards do have effects like draw 2 that we mentioned. We have, and that's a reaction card.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things. So there is your normal standard cards and your reaction cards. Okay. So first we're going to talk about collectibles. So collectibles have a 1, 2, or 3 that are highlighted on them. And if you collect a set, so I have medicine. Nope, I have 2 medicine. Where's the 3rd medicine? So you can do, here it is, 3 medicine. All right, so I can either play a whole set down. So that's a 1, 2, and 3, right? And because I have the whole set, I can lay them down, even though it's only area 1, so they all go together, and you can place that down. That's one way to get rid of 3 cards. However, if I didn't have this one and only had the 2 and the 3, I could not play it in Stone Age 1. Or maybe I don't have the 3, so I don't have a full set, so maybe I will just play my level 1, 2, and 3 medicine. The other thing that we can do is play special ability cards. Now, for level 1, there's really only one. It's the Tusky Treasure. Pick one collectible card of your choice from the discard pile. Okay, so if this was already out here, I could choose to pick this up. That way, I did have that set for the next round, so I can get rid of 3 cards at that time. Now, you keep playing until all the cards are gone. You're going through the different areas.
All the cards in your hand, not the whole deck.
Right. All the cards in your hand. And whoever gets out first, almost kind of like Uno, right, they win that hand. And everyone with cards left over will get points, just like Rummy. Okay?
But they're negative points, basically, because
you
don't want points.
Yeah, you don't want points. They're negative points. And so that straightforward game. So, oh, and you have a special ability. So so what happens if you can't play? Just like Uno, you have to draw cards, except yours is different from every other player. So like Greta is draw 2 cards, pick a reaction card from the discard pile, and optionally discard a collectible card. So I'm netting 2 cards, but I am picking up a effect card that's of my choice, so that's super helpful to me. But then I also get rid of a collectible card.
Well,
so
I
that's
had one that let me draw 2 and then discard 2 collectible cards from my hand.
And mine's even better. I was draw 2 and discard up to, I don't have to discard any, up to 3 collectible cards.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there is some benefits from doing that action. But yeah, overall, I think it was a fun little game. I think it kind of reminds me a little bit of Uno and a little bit of Rummy. And I think we had a lot of fun doing it. It is a short, easy card game. If you kind of like those and you kind of want something different, I think this is spot on. I had fun. I'm probably going to give it a 6.5. I thought it was good.
Yeah, gameplay-wise, I thought it was fine. It's there are reaction cards that are kind of take that. So if you don't take that elements, it's got a little
bad,
bit, but it's not that painful.
It's just like Uno.
I think Uno is a really good comparison. If Uno makes you mad, then you're not going to like this game.
Yeah, all in all, I think 6.5 is a good score for this game. I think it's a fine little card game, and it's quick to play, quick to teach.
Yeah,
you get to the table.
I think 6.5 is a good score. I think that it's got room to grow. I think that it could get a better score, better quality components. I think that maybe if they kind of expounded on maybe some of the dynamics of the card play, it could be a little bit more interesting. But as is, I think 6.5 is a good score.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast. Hopefully you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.